Hello, friends, and welcome to this introductory webinar to what is Hebrew in Harmony. You are all muted, and if you'd like to ask a question, just please go ahead and type it in the question bar, and I will respond to questions throughout. I would like to make it informal. We have about 40 minutes together, but I'm going to be taking questions throughout, and I have time at the end for you to ask anything additional that we haven't covered. Again, welcome, and thank you very much for giving up your time to be on this webinar. I know some of you are on vacation, so that's generous of you to invest the time in this. This is what we're going to be covering in our half hour, 40 minutes together. We'll take a quick look at the goals of Hebrew in Harmony, the benefits of teaching with music. I'll give you a quick overview of the musicians who are participating. We'll look at the prayers that we've included, the 3 components of each module, how to use, and by how to use, I mean we're not going to go into depth of a classroom experience. It's really more how to pick and choose prayers and how it all works together. Then we'll take a quick look at the digital companion, and then we'll jump to Educator Reactions. What are people saying who are already using the program? So that's an awful lot to cover in this time. So as you can imagine, we're going to go through it pretty quickly. Let's kick it off with what is Hebrew in Harmony. As most of you know, because you've done some exploration already, it's a new Hebrew curriculum for 4th through 6th grades in congregational schools in which children learn prayer through music. These are the goals. If you wouldn't mind just taking a quick look at the screen. So as you can see, it's really about a personal engagement with prayer. There is some, recitation. Of course, there's skills development. It's a Hebrew program. And then it's a lot to do with personal connections, making the prayers relevant to the children so that they care. In Hebrew in Harmony, what is the music? The purpose is really to provide a vessel for the words of prayer, allowing for the development of personal meaning and emotion within our liturgy. So the music is the driver of this curriculum. For those of you who've just joined, please type your questions, any questions as we go into the question panel, and I will respond to them throughout, and I'm going to leave time at the end to answer anything additional. So it's sort of interesting to take a quick look at the benefits of teaching with music. And as I run through these, I'd be curious to know what else you think is a benefit of using music. For those of you who are cantors or song leaders or have already introduced music in some or other fashion into your Hebrew program. So music is directly connected to emotions. There are cognitive benefits. The group singing is a powerful bonding experience. And then, of course, it allows the Hebrew words to flow. Music helps the children remember the words. And obviously, music is a part of every child's life. So tell me, what else might you add? I have a question I'm going to answer in a minute to do with self-paced. Well, as you consider any other benefit of using music in your learning, in your education program, please do let me know, and I will present it to the group. Now, the musicians are pictured here. We have rolled out 2 phases of Hebrew in Harmony. There's one more to come. So the first rollout was in April last year, 2016. The next rollout was earlier this year in January, and the final prayers will be available in January of next year. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Meanwhile, these are the 35 musicians who are currently included in the program and featured. We have about 20 more to come. In most cases, what we did was to license existing music. So Sam Glazer, for example, he has a Michamocha that we used. I'm trying to think. Billy Jonas has one in the Shema, and so on. There were we had about 2 or 3 instances where musicians actually wrote a song specially for us, especially Eliana Light, who's pictured down at the bottom of the screen, and she and Noah are the co-hosts, and Eliana is the creative director, and wrote a couple of songs specially for the program. Otherwise, all we did was license existing music. Let's move to what is available and what's coming. On the left are the prayers, the prayer modules that are currently available. On the right is what's coming, and then the series will be complete. As you look at this, just do know that I am recording the session. It'll be posted on our Hebrew in Harmony site, which I will show you. And if you want the recording, you can email me. My email will be shown on the last slide. I'll be happy to send it to you. So let me know if you have any questions about the prayers that are included and those that are coming. Each prayer module consists of 3 components, and all are essential. There's the 16-page student journal. Looks like this. Okay, and many people store them in this yellow Hebrew in Harmony folder. And again, there are 16 journals. I'm sorry, there are currently 15 journals. There will be 22 in all when all 22 modules are final. And each journal consists of 16 pages. The second essential piece is the digital companion that I'm going to demo for you. And the third piece is the curriculum core. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how, basically a very sort of a quick look at how to use it. So when we come to the section on Educator Reactions, what I'm going to point out to you is that we have seen places where the children are just using the journals and not the digital. And I don't quite know how that's working, because there are many of the activities in the journal that are integrated with the digital. For example, the music, where the children answer questions in the journal about the music that they encounter in the digital piece. As an example, in Lachadodi, this is the Lachadodi module, there's a question here where it says, listen to Lachadodi by Ilana Arian and then answer the following questions. So they go hand in hand, and the curriculum core is essential for the teacher to have and to use. The curriculum core, each module consists of 3 fully scripted lessons with timing, clear instructions how to use all the activities, the movement, the journaling, the mindfulness activities, arts, and so on, drama, creative writing. So all 3 are essential. Question from Margot: is all the music modern, or is Nusach included as well? Margot, in the digital companion, we include a variety of songs for each prayer. Now let me show you. Let me jump out of here for a moment, out of my PowerPoint, and go into the Behrman House homepage and I'm going to type in at the top behrmanhouse.com/HIH. And that takes me to the Hebrew in Harmony page, which is like this yellow page, basically. And here on the right, you can see down on the bottom all the music. You can hear, never mind see. So you'll see, for example, in the Baruch Hu, here are a couple of songs that are not the traditional. Berchot Shalom, there are a whole variety. We also offer the traditional melodies. You can call it nusach, that varies too by movement, by synagogue, and so on. But we offer the variations, the different liturgical, the traditional melodies in the digital companion. I hope that answers your question. If not, ask me a follow-up. So we have modern variations, new songs about the prayer, and the traditional. Can each journal stand on its own? Yes. And actually this relates to, this is a question Margot's asking. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. This relates to a question that Toby asked a few minutes ago. Can this be at all self-paced? We are looking at combined grades. And Margot asks, can each journal stand on its own? So yes, it is a modular product, which means you pick and choose the prayers you want to use. So each journal stands on its own, but again, only in as much as you use the digital companion with it, and the teacher uses the curriculum core to guide him or her. Now, can it be used as self-paced? I have seen classes where the kids are working individually and they're at stations and they're each working on their own prayers. There's an advantage to that. They can go at their own pace. They can do what interests them. They can play a little longer with I don't know, the prayer reading online, or watch the videos a little bit longer, and so on. The loss, or really I should say the opportunity that the teacher should take advantage of, is getting everybody together at certain points to watch the videos together, to have group discussions. Many of the activities in the curriculum core are group activities. Some are in chavruta, some individual, but many are movement, where, for example, the kids, when learning the blessing formula, teach each other the meaning of the words, not by translating them, but by creating movements. For example, atah, or Baruch, or whatever movements they choose to introduce. So my feeling is that the series is best used as a whole group, with the understanding that kids can go off and do their own thing at certain points. I hope that answers it for you. All right. What level of Hebrew reading do the students need to have to begin this program? They need to be able to decode. So this is a post-primer program. Most places start it in 4th grade. You can use it in 4th, 5th, or 6th. Mix it up. People tend to use the easier prayers in 4th grade, the Baruch Hu, Shema, Micha Mocha, and the Brachot, perhaps Havdalah, Manishtana, and they will likely use the new prayers we've just brought out, which are the Amidah, and the blessings in the Amidah, and a few others like Lachadodi and so on. And then the final group will be, as you saw on that screenshot, the Torah service and concluding prayers, which will likely be used in 6th grade. So Margot, the answer is they need to be able to read Hebrew, to decode. Another question, if the program is 4th through 6th grades, how does it flow through the grades? You pick and choose. Again, if you teach brachot in the younger grades, you'd pick it then. So there's not, it's not scaffolded in that way that each module builds on a previous one. However, the harder prayers are those that will come in 6th grade, the Torah service and concluding prayers, the Kaddish, Aleinu, which is really difficult, So it just sort of seems to work that way, that the easier prayers are dealt with in 4th grade. Keep the questions coming, and I'm going to continue. Let's see now, how do we use, and this will respond to some of the things you've already asked. How do we use it? It's a modular program. You pick and choose. You can say, this year I'm going to dip my toe in the water and I'm only going to use Baruch Hu, Shema, and Brachot, whatever, with 4th grade. I want to see how it goes. Or you could say, I'm going to introduce it throughout. And what I've pictured here is just 8 of the 15 modules that are currently available. So you choose the prayers that you want and the grades you want to use them in. Next, you order the journals and you add on the digital piece. Each journal costs $2.95. And the digital is all access. That means all the prayers are available digitally for the one price. 12-month license is $9.95. So even if you are not using, I don't know, the kiddush, and you want the kids, somebody finishes their work a little early, he or she can go practice, play around on a tablet. This is, usable on all devices and all platforms, and learn the kiddush or watch the videos. So it's all access digital, and that is $9.95 a user for a 12-month license. And again, the journals are $2.95 each. You pick and choose. You can say, I want 5 Vahaftas and 7 Shmas. This is an interesting question that I've not actually heard before. I'm interested in incorporating parts of this curriculum for a beginning song leading class for high school students. Are the journals too young for this age group? Wow. Look, they're written for grades 4 to 6. Still, the questions are thoughtful and thought-provoking, and there's mindfulness in them, and many of them are challenging, and the kids analyze the music. So to me, it could be used at any level, but it really is up to you, Karen, to look at them and see if you think it's appropriate for high school. I think it could be phenomenal, and the kids could add extra layers of meaning, create their own questions, create their own mindfulness practices, and so on. All right, so now, so you've ordered your journals, you've ordered your digital, and now what you would do is you would share with your teachers the modules from the curriculum core, which the curriculum core looks like this. It's a big fully resourced binder for the teachers with tabs showing each prayer. There's a strong introduction with explaining the different modalities. There's a section children with special needs, and there's a section on assessment and so on. But it really is essential that you give your teachers the lesson plans for the lessons for the modules, the prayers they'll be teaching. And then finally, in this section, the children what we see is the children use the print journals when they're together in class or whatever their learning space or learning session is. And they use the digital in 3 ways. Either they use it at home or at learning stations, as you can see pictured here on the left below, or what I've also seen is the teacher or leader, class leader, will project it, will use a laptop and project the digital on the screen. So at the very least, the children can listen to the music together and watch the videos. Ideally, they'll use it at home for the extra practice. They can even record themselves at home, and it automatically goes to the teacher for assessment. So let's move to the digital companion, and let me talk to you a little bit about that. I've got screenshots of this, but I think I'm going to go out of the slides and into the real thing. So when I go home here at berrimanhouse.com, I'm logged in. I enter the online learning center on the right. There are various ways to get into the online learning center. My profile comes up, and I go into my school. And here is about in the middle of the screen, the Hebrew in Harmony class. So what you can see is the digital companion is available in the online learning center. So what does that mean? That means in order for you, the education director, to pass a license to the kids so they have access to the digital, you need to put them in the online learning center. Once they are in the OLC and they're in a class, and you've got the software in the class, those kids can access the digital anywhere. They can access it on any tablet, for example, and they do not need to actually be in the online learning center. They can be on an iPad, and they download a native app called Hebrew in Harmony from the App Store. They sign in, and it recognizes them, and it tracks their progress. So from then on, they can just use the native app on the iPad. But again, I want to repeat that the only way they can access the software in the first place is if you put them into the OLC to begin with. That's the way the license gets to them. So let me know if you have questions about that. And we're doing a webinar in April, how to get set up in the OLC, and we can help you with that. We have people here who can help you and walk you through it. So here I'm in my OLC school. Here's my dashboard. I enter my Hebrew and Harmony class here in the blue. And I see the green play button on the left. I, as the teacher, have an assessment button. I'm not going to go into that now. But I, as the teacher, and the kids all see this green play button. I enter the software, click on the green play button. I can find the music here on the right, download music. And I now have all the software available to all the different modules available to me in the All Access Digital. So let's say I'm choosing Lachadodi. First thing I want to do is maybe I want to watch Noah Aronson. So I've got headset on so you can't hear it, but I just want to show you the videos. So I'm just skipping through the videos. We've got some skits. Here's one with the Bible players. So these are the videos, or they can learn how to sing the song with Noah.
The traditional version has 9.
So that's what the digital looks like. There are also, oh gosh, there's all sorts of, here's where the kids can record and can upload it to the teacher. It goes automatically to the teacher. Here's a little Quizlet activity, a sort of a recall review. In this part of the digital, they can attach, this is their personal prayer page where they get to attach little emojis and so on. And then there's a game, a little melody game, and we're developing 2 new games. Here they have to join syllables together and it sings to them and it plops out as matzo balls. That's called the matzo ball game. No, it's called the melody game. Oops. Anyway, that's what the digital looks like. So let me know your questions about it, please. And it tracks their progress as they go. So here, this is exactly what I showed you live. These are just the screenshots. Now, if you want to try out the digital, here's what you can do. You go back to that yellow page I showed you. And if you're going to do it now, just be sure to open a separate window. Otherwise, you're going to lose the webinar. So you go to behrmanhouse.com/HIH. And really, here's everything that, all the resources for the program. So where can you, oh, this is an old screenshot. Oh, my apologies. So if I go back here, and I go back to the Hebrew and Harmony page, down on the bottom right, we have try the digital. Can you see? Try the digital. So you click on try the digital and you can try out 3 modules for free. You got Lachadodi, Michamocha, and Shema. And they are complete and they're for you to try out. And again, as I said, also down at the bottom of this yellow page is all the music. So I'm near the end of what I wanted to present, and then I really do want to leave time for you to tell me your interests and what you see as exciting or challenging about the program. So what are some educator reactions? First thing to say, well, the series has been out now since last April, right? So it's about a year. It's a second year. It's 1 year that it's fully underway. We did see actually that people started rather late. We even saw some people who had bought it and ordered it and only started using it in January. We are in touch with everybody who is using the series because we want to understand what's working, what's not, what the challenges are, what people like about it. I'm going to say the most significant reaction is a huge amount of interest, like you. You know, you came to explore, to learn more, and there's something about it that appeals to you. People love the concept, the music. They think it's rich. It's multimedia. It's multiple modalities, and they especially like the fact that it adds meaning. One person said to me, I love it because it helps the kids make the connection between Hebrew and prayer, because many places still have Hebrew separate from the Tefillah experience. What we've also seen is that people are not always sure how to implement it. One educator said to me, it's a learning curve, and I understand it. You know, how do I have to use all the modules? Must I use the digital? What do I do to help my teachers understand this? What happens if my teacher can't sing? Well, no music skills required, but these are the sorts of questions we get. Here's a question that just came in. For classroom use, would we still need a license for each student in order to do independent work? Yes. So even if the children are using it in class, you need a license for each one if you want to track their progress and for them to sign in and so on. So that is also one of the things we're hearing from people. They are not sure how to use the digital. Is it a native app? Is it in the online learning center? So we're finding that our messaging needs to be clearer. So yes, you set it up in the online learning center, and the kids can always work in the online learning center if you so choose, or they can download the native app and from then on just work on an iPad. What else have we heard? We've seen, and maybe this is why I said it so many times now, that not everybody's using the curriculum core. So I went to visit a school where the ed director had the curriculum core on a shelf in her office, but the teachers did not know about it. So the lesson sort of went something like, well, in fact, one teacher didn't even know where the music was. So the kids were basically just having discussions and using the journals. Now, when you see the journals, you'll immediately recognize that a lot depends on having listened to the music or watching the videos and that sort of thing. So just giving the journals to the kids to plow through basically is not using them as effectively as you might, not using them to the max. So you really want to thoughtfully and purposefully assign the journals. Oh, and then there's one other thing that we've seen, and that really there's not much we can do about other than sort of try to advocate on your behalf, and that is many places have poor Wi-Fi. So the offices will be, decently equipped in that way. Then the minute you move into sort of any other parts of the building, the Wi-Fi is spotty at best. And the problem with this is that it's wonderful to show the videos to the kids as a group or to have them work on iPads, as you see in this picture here, and you need Wi-Fi for that. We are developing soon, well, it's actually going to be by the summer, the iOS, the app you'll be able to use it as a typical native app without Wi-Fi access. So that'll be fine. But if you want to show the videos or do anything as a group, or using a laptop, using a web browser, you really need decent Wi-Fi in the area. All right, let me go to more questions. Yeah, so my colleague Joan Carr, who is on this call, said that I should tell you that even though it's a native app, you do need to be connected to the internet for now. And again, we're changing that by the summer, so for next year, even when you're on, when you're on your tablet, you do not need to, when you're on your iPad, it'll be native in that it'll be local and you don't need to be connected to the internet. Good. That is what I wanted to cover. It's a lot, and I hope I haven't overwhelmed you. And we have time, so let me know what else you would like to know. Or Joan, anything else you think I should share with the group? I'm just jumping while you guys are thinking. I'm jumping back to the yellow Hebrew and Harmony page, and if you go down to teacher training on the right, here's where we post recordings of the webinars, and we also have other videos. So for example, this video here is 5 tips to succeed in Hebrew and Harmony. Some of the things that I've mentioned here and we've noticed in visiting classes. Okay, question. It's the middle of the year and we already have a Hebrew program in full swing. Is it possible to do a very small amount of this, or are other people running into an issue because it's mid-year? That is a really sensible question. Most people, when you make a switch, when you make a Hebrew curricular switch, it's a really big deal. And we're seeing places where, the education committee must weigh in, and the teachers must buy in, and that sort of thing. In fact, we're running a whole series of case studies in which we are featuring educators who are taking a really thoughtful approach to adopting it. It's a big deal. And you absolutely want the teachers buy-in. So for example, we this week featured Temple Sinai of Atlanta, Emily Cohen, who works with Marissa Kaiser. They ordered 14 curriculum cores and 14 sets of everything, all the journals, and they are working with their teachers to try it out, to see what they think. They presented to the teachers. I provided them with a short PowerPoint to show the teachers. They wanted to present that themselves, which was very cool because Emily Cohen wanted to learn herself how to get a total handle on the program, and to model it for the teachers. And their teachers are going to play around with it and then make a decision about whether to use it next school year. So what could you do for the middle of the year, Karen? You might do the following. You might try out just the Manish Tana module. Where's Manish Tana? Let me see if I have it here. I don't have it immediately on hand, but it's a journal, obviously, and the digital. And you can try it out and see what the kids think, or you could start maybe just with the Baruch Hu and the Shema and have a small group try it out. And it can certainly add it onto any current prayer program you're using. So then, in summary, people are not adopting it sort of in a full-blown fashion in the middle of the semester or the middle of the year, but rather they are trying it out. If you are interested at this point, you might want to just try it out on some small scale. All right, and Joan asks me to point out, thank you, Joan, that you can download the music and save it to your local drive. And so even if you don't have Wi-Fi access, you can still play the music. You can just download it first. So those are the questions, and we're just over 1:30, so we have a few more minutes. Those of you who need to leave, I thank you again for joining us. The recording will be available. We'll post it on the yellow Hebrew and Harmony page. If you prefer me to send you a copy, you can see it over there. I'll probably send it via WeTransfer, something like that, to be sure it gets to you. And meanwhile, I'm going to stay on for another couple of minutes to see if there are any other questions. And thank you so much for being here. Our next webinar is later in March. Let me see what the exact date is here. That's for teachers. How to use Hebrew and Harmony, Tuesday, March the 21st. You can sign up here again on the Hebrew and Harmony page. Click on the training section. And that's going to be more hands-on, like here's how to use the music, and here's the kinds of activities you'll be doing, and here's the wrap-up and the assessment and so on. And then our third webinar for the spring will be how to use the Online Learning Center. That's later in April.